2. Hello, everyone. Welcome again to the Church Solutions Podcast.
Hi, my name is Steve Lacy.
Thanks for being with us today as we are now in November. And this is one of the hundreds of podcasts we have been doing. We do video as well as audio. So if you haven't seen our video, you're not missing much. But the audio, of course, is available on anywhere that you find your wonderful podcasts. So, Steve, how are you doing?
Doing all right. What's on our agenda for today?
Our agenda today, believe it or not, is Christmas. And for some of you listening, those of you, and most of our people that listen are involved in your church, either as, key volunteers or on staff or some capacity of really being involved in leadership. Some of you are saying, oh, yeah, Christmas is coming up. And then there's some of you are saying, well, yeah, we know that. We've been thinking about that for a long time. But because of COVID-19, I wanted to bring this up because I feel like, the crowds, what do we always say, right? You're going to get big crowds. People come to church. Usually people that don't normally come to church will come to church on what dates?
Easter and Christmas.
Easter and Christmas. So you might, have you may not be doing a big full-blown Christmas Eve or Christmas event when you herd in a bunch of camels and sheep. But, most churches will put some extra special attention into their Christmas Eve service or their Christmas service. And I'm sure that there are some thinking out there, well, it's COVID-19. We can't have large crowds, even if you're meeting. So therefore, what are we going to do? We're not going to really do a whole lot. And the point of this podcast today is that you could actually put together, I think, a really nice Christmas Eve or Christmas service online. And of course, we're a streaming company, so we tend to push streaming. So I believe very strongly that you could, if you put some energy in it and put a little thought into it, you could put together a very special Christmas Eve service and stream it online.
So this morning, just ironically enough, and it wasn't because I was talking about doing a Christmas podcast, my wife says, so what do you want for Christmas this year? And we normally have anyway, I won't go there. Anyway, so she asked what I wanted for Christmas, and I thought for a second, I go, I want someone else to put up the Christmas decorations for me. That's what I want for Christmas this year.
There you go. Yeah.
She called me the Grinch, and she was giving me a hard time. I guess I deserved it, but I was like, Christmas. I hadn't even thinking about Christmas yet. And every year we started a tradition many years ago, actually following from another family at our church, was the day after Thanksgiving is we decorate the house. Mm-hmm. So we got invited to a Thanksgiving dinner before we were married even, and we came to the dinner and they said, okay, dinner's over. You guys got to help us put up the Christmas lights. They would do it the afternoon of Thanksgiving.
Wow.
So we wait till for Black Friday.
Growing up, we generally put the Christmas tree up the day before Christmas, usually Christmas Eve back in Ohio. We went out and cut it down and then dragged it in the house and put it up usually Christmas Eve. And if we were really ambitious, maybe the day before Christmas Eve. But
why is that?
I don't know. It's the way we did it. I have no idea. Both my parents are dead now, so they can't give us an explanation.
I can't tell you why.
I don't know. But I'm kind of like you. I'm not big on Christmas decorations.
I like Christmas. It's just, once a year, we decorate the house, and Tina, my wife, does the inside and I do the outside. And I usually am able to recruit one of the kids. So though sometimes it's on my own, and it's a 2 to 4 hour ordeal. I'm just like,
Sorry to hear that. I'm very good at putting Christmas decorations up because that's when I was helping you. I think I helped you recently again, didn't I? I think one of those years I had a heart attack doing it. So
yes.
So
that was after Christmas though. Yeah, we digress.
Yeah, we are
putting the decorations back putting them away. Yes, I needed your help.
Yeah, that's when I collapsed. All right, so now that we're off track here.
So you've got a list of tips and suggestions for making a special online Christmas event.
Yeah. If you get nothing out of this podcast, here's what I just want to say. Get a team together and put some energy into it. And, I've got some suggestions here, but my number one point here is, number one, start brainstorming, if you have not already, with a team. And if you don't have a team, put together a team, several people at least, that can help you put this together, at least with some ideas on what you want to do. So that would be the first thing I'd encourage you to start with. That way you're not overwhelmed with it. You got some people, set some deadlines, set some goals, and begin to start with it, putting it together a team. And that's what I would call a no-brainer. But, sometimes there are people out there listening and it's all thrown on you. And I would say, don't let that happen.
You being the senior pastor, the executive pastor, the leader, right? So
the deacon or whatever. Sometimes there's just people look at those people, and that's okay if you want to lead it, but make sure you get a team together. And remember, this is a good opportunity. And it's COVID-19. There's not going to be a lot of people. Get that out of your brain and know that maybe not everybody's going to show up at the facility because of caution and safety, but you have a chance to reach people online. And, we're not always going to be in COVID-19. I mean, 2021 is still going to have probably lots of things like the mask. And even after vaccines get out, it's still going to be a while before things get back to normal, if they ever do. And so you're still going to have people looking for a church and thinking about a church. And if you could put together a nice online presentation, it spells lots of opportunities for people to check you out, either in person or maybe online. If you keep streaming online, hopefully you're still streaming online even after, things settle down the next 5 years or whatever it's going to be. All right, so that's the first point.
Yes. So you're talking in your next point about creating a theme.
So Michael Gray, who's not with us on the podcast today, one of our coworkers here, would say branding. So I would encourage you to come up with a Christmas theme and probably a brand, so to speak, of what you're going to do. So when I say theme, it could be a message centered around the message that you're going to present Christmas. And look, it's not just, Jesus came and was born in a manger. And, there's different themes. Those of you involved in ministry understand that. There's bigger pictures to what Christmas means. So, what's the theme of what you're going to talk about? And then if you can incorporate that in your material, in your slides, in your quote brand, if I can use that term, and make it consistent. Are you following me?
The message that you would have for this service would also would reflect that theme.
Right.
So if I'm going to
hope for 2021, let's just make one up. Christmas, hope for 2021. I'm just making this up, right? Since 2020 has been kind of a bummer year for people and people are discouraged in the election, we still don't know who won the presidency at this time. And so, there's a lot of anxiety out there, and there's anxiety going to be next year too, because of, this is not going away right away, this whole pandemic. And so whatever theme you're going to do, make it consistent. And I would put together, you can find something on iStock Photos. There's free publications, which you're aware of. Steve, when I say you're aware of, I'm talking about you. There's certain things that you're well aware of. You can use stock photos, come up with something for Christmas, make that your centerpiece, and then start to put it on all your material, including online material.
All right.
You with me?
Good. I'm with you.
So the third step.
And what do you do with social media and marketing and that sort of thing?
Yeah, there you go. So, again, we need Michael Gray here, but because he's our social media expert, and Brittany is too. But, include all that what I just talked about, the branded Christmas theme, add those things, the images. You can add different Christmas images if you want, but have those a part of Facebook, your church's Facebook page, your Twitter, your Instagram, whatever it is you're putting stuff out on, your newsletter, your billboards, your stuff inside the church. If you have people coming inside your church and meeting, make that out there. And look, this is what's the date? November 5th or whatever. So look, I know it's probably too early to maybe start putting that stuff out there, but be thinking about it. And then whenever you decide to launch this deal, and maybe you're going to be like Steve, you don't do anything till after Thanksgiving, maybe that's a good time to do it. I don't know. It's a month away. I would still mention.
I'm just talking about my house, though.
Well, yeah, I get that, but I mean, many people use.
Yeah, you'd be a little weird going before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I think it might be, but you could at least drop some hints. Hey guys, Christmas is coming up here in 6 weeks or 7 weeks. We got a special thing planned for you online. Be creative with it. Right. That's why I would put together a calendar. When I said brainstorming at the beginning here, I'd put together a schedule for all that you're trying to do here. Put a timeline together with your team. Okay, we're going to launch this. We're going to find our theme on this day. We're going to come up with some branding. We're going to come up with some wonderful images. There's even some more things you can do with that. Okay, but that starts the ball rolling. Are you with me so far?
I am with you so far. So the next one you talked about is a custom Facebook profile theme for members. What does that mean?
What is that? So Facebook, if I remember right, and again, we're missing one part of our team here, Facebook allows you to put in like a custom profile theme in your picture. Maybe you've seen some of this for, I think they've done it for Christmas. They've done it for certain human rights events. They've done it for those kind of things. So you have your profile page as a member, or if you're part of Facebook, you generally have a profile pic, right? I mean, I've got one with me wearing a mask. You've got one from 1992. So those kind of things, you can dress that up. You can put in a theme on your profile page, and so your church can probably come up with a theme, and I believe you can drop it in there.
And you could start a nationwide meme, huh?
You could. So not a meme, a theme, but yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Meme is funny. I mean, you probably could start a nationwide meme if it's really hilarious, but yeah.
Everybody in the church sticks a holly leaf in their hair and takes their picture.
There you go. I don't.
Is that what you're? Okay,
kind of. I'm getting at that kind of, but I would make it more what the church is doing, and it again. The best type of advertising for anything you do in life is word of mouth. Okay, so on social media, if you can let people know, if your members can get excited about the online Christmas event, help them, enable them, give them tools to spread the word that, hey, we're having an event, come check us out online. It's Christmas. We're going to talk about, whatever it is, how to avoid divorce during Christmas. I don't know. I'm being funny, but yeah, you see what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead. You're driving this thing.
So next on your list, you're talking about, I guess, a special online invitations.
Yeah. So go ahead.
I mean, is that like an Evite system or something like that?
I think you can do something online. You can create online. You could create some kind of an online invite for people. I mean, back in the day, we used to print little invitations, and I used to print them on little like business cards and encourage our members to, hey, we're having a Christmas Eve service before the World Wide Web, or before you did a lot of streaming. So your members would have little invites and saying, hey, what are you doing for Christmas Eve? Come be a part of our service. It only lasts 3 hours, those kind of things. And so you could do something like that online and give people an opportunity to share. You could do it on the church's Facebook page. You could do it on different social media accounts and ask people to share that. again, this is early November when we're doing this podcast, but as you move in later in November and December, opportunities abound.
These things would fit into your plan as you talk about. Yeah,
right.
It'd be maybe a little weird right now sending out an invite, but not so weird in a month from now.
So, yeah, exactly. And again, I'll emphasize this again, come up with a schedule for all these things we're talking about. And look, I'm just giving you ideas here. I'm just throwing things out. As my son says, throw the spaghetti against the wall. If it sticks, good. If not, move on.
Well, and so, if it sticks, it's done, right?
Right. If it sticks, you're ready to go. So some of these invites, hey, I was married to an Italian, so I understand that. So what I'm getting at is Italian, not Italian. So what I'm getting at is, if some of these ideas stick, go with them, but schedule them out and, have a timeline and make it so that, you can enable people to help you do this. So it's not all on you. All right. So invite online members to invite people online to come to your event.
All right. So next you have offer special daily Christmas devotions.
So here's something that you could do maybe a week before Christmas, or maybe 2 weeks if you're ambitious. Come up with and this would probably be your pastor, or maybe associate pastor, or maybe a key leader in the church that occasionally gets up and speaks. Come up with like maybe a little 3-minute devotional that you could record. It could just be audio. It doesn't have to be video. You could do it audio, and you could, like with us, our company, we host those things, so you could upload it. If you were streamingchurch.tv and share it with people, you could record it and put a link to it in your newsletter that you send out. So most churches send a newsletter out once a week. Maybe the week before Christmas, you send your newsletter out 3 times, and you have this little devotion that you put in. If you're really ambitious, maybe, the 5 days before Christmas or the 7 days before Christmas, and you do one every day. But it doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be a teaching. Doesn't have to be a sermon. It might just be a little 2-minute deal. And it's up to you if you want to dress it up and put some music behind it, or just read it cold. But this, again, will help build on the excitement for the future event, which is coming up soon, Christmas Eve or Christmas.
Yeah. Another kind of along those lines, I know at our church there'll be YouVersion offers an Advent study, and so they'll encourage everyone to walk through the same devotions together through the app, and so that would fit into here as well. Sure. So if you don't want to have to come up with your own material, you could just say, hey, we're promoting this Advent study that goes through,
Yeah, very good. Absolutely. That would be a great opportunity. And again, you always, somewhere in that material, you always draw attention to, don't forget, Friday night, Christmas Eve. I think it's a Friday night this year, isn't it? Whenever it is, Christmas Eve, we're having an online, or whenever you're doing it. Maybe you're going to do it Sunday morning. And the other thing here that we're talking about this, we're running out of time, but, you could always do this, pre-record all this, and then just run it simulated live, and nobody has to get up Christmas to do it. You know what I mean? It just runs, and you could watch the stream along with everybody else. So it's not like somebody has to get up Christmas morning to do this,
Yeah, or, you got my wheels turning here. If you're going to do a simulated live and this is going to be a special event, you could put together a special video, we were talking about, a lot of churches will do like Christmas kids specials and things like that. You could say the staff has been working since August on the Christmas play for Church XYZ, and then do a simulated live where that's a produced video that would run on that event. And everybody be curious about what the heck the church has put together.
Yeah, you've got tools here. And again, the whole point of this podcast today is to just, again, enlighten everybody with the idea, look, you have opportunities here to make something special, to make something nice. And even if it's COVID-19 and you're not going to have a bunch of people showing up at your facility, you can use these tools that could go above and beyond what your expectations might have normally been. So that's the idea.
All right. So we've got we're about halfway through, right? So we we
Yeah,
need to
we'll
pick
move
up the
quickly
pace
here.
and
Yeah,
touch the or
yeah.
touch the top of
We
the
can
ones
move quickly here.
suggestions that you
Yeah.
want to just okay.
Yeah, we'll just move quickly here. The other point I have is, start using announcement slides. And again, if you're meeting in person, you don't maybe want to start promoting Christmas right now in the first week of November, but maybe around Thanksgiving, start promoting them with some, again, Christmas slides. Use the branding that we talked about earlier, use the theme that you're talking about earlier, and you can do that online. Use that online for your presentations. Christmas countdown timer. Again, if you're having a special event and it's going to be Christmas Eve or Christmas morning, because those are not Sunday, use a Christmas countdown timer. Put together a countdown that people go to your website. You'll say special Christmas, whatever it is, Christmas Eve online in 7 days, 42 hours, and 58 seconds.
7 days, 42 hours? Oh.
Yeah, or 22 hours. Stop mocking me. I'm trying my best here. Doing the best I can. All right. So Christmas countdown timer.
7
Just
days.
an idea. Throw it out there. Maybe not 44 hours, but whatever it might be. Okay.
3,800 hours. 4 days and 3,800 hours from now.
There you go.
We're going to have
military
Christmas.
time. All right. Christmas countdown timer.
All right. And next on your list, Christmas video opener. What is that?
So there's lots of, you can buy and purchase Christmas videos that are 2 or 3 minutes or 4 minutes long. Consider the investment or make your own. So what I'm getting at is you could use this for your presentation. So whatever big shindig you got going here, Christmas Eve, or, you might say, well, it's just me and the boys or whatever, or me and a few staff people. Well, you can still make it have more of a, I don't know if I want to say professional touch, but I'll use that word, professional touch, by using a video that people have produced that have a message in it, maybe a message even that you're going to talk about, maybe a specific theme. You can find it, and they're not expensive. You could use one, and you could run the video as an opener, or maybe in the middle of your message.
Yeah, or is that
One together. We used to do ours, put our own together.
Yeah. Like at our church, we call them bumpers, I think. So
that's
bumper video.
That's kind of the opening though to what you guys are talking about. But and you could still do that. I'm talking about something a little longer than a bumper. But yeah, it's extremely that would work too. Bumpers would be fine. Very quickly here as we wrap up, there are lots of Christmas worship backgrounds, and so if music. Or if you're doing sermon and you have some notes, you could use special Christmas background features. They're out there. Just Google them. They can really dress up your presentation. The special music part is another one I have in the notes here. That would be something that probably, if you wanted to do it locally, put something together and insert it inside the music or inside the message, I should say. What you might consider doing for Christmas Eve would be, we generally always do an offering. Well, you might include maybe a special offering for your community. So what's going on in the community in which you live? Is there a shortage in the food bank? Is there a shortage in paper towels or toilet paper? I don't know. I'm being kind of funny now, but you never know. And so what is it you could do to help your community? Make that a part of your offering. We're going to help the Gospel Rescue Mission. We're going to help, Salvation Army or, whatever it is, women's shelters, something like that.
Yeah.
And
I know local churches here had put together special events that would draw a big crowd. They'd have an annual super over-the-top production show kind of thing. And they take an offering as all for the community. So it was everything geared for,
you could do that.
Like you just said.
Yeah, you could do that.
Some local charity.
You could do that. And there's all sorts of ideas you can come up with to spice up your services for Christmas Eve. And we did a thing one year where we asked all our members to give us old Christmas pictures that you had taken. Not pictures from last year or this year, but maybe if you've been married for 25 years or whatever, send us a picture of you and your wife 25 years ago around the Christmas tree. And, those kind of things you can put in your slides, put in your presentation, especially if they're well-known people in your congregation. Again, it just adds a little bit of uplift, some splendor, some fun stuff to do. We're out of time here. One of the things I was going to use here in these notes is we talked about putting together a nice Christmas Eve online services. You can use Zoom. Plus, you could use Zoom and you could stream it even to your platform online, but you could have some key people to be a part of your Christmas presentation on Zoom with you. They could participate, and people who are watching on your website they wouldn't be able to do what Zoom does as far as participate, like Zoom, but they could still watch it and see multiple people if you use Zoom or something like Zoom that allows you to send it to your website as well as use Zoom. Does that make any sense? I went through that pretty quick. But
so
you can do a lot of that stuff. There's some creative things you can do that, people still, when they go to whatever your website is, they could still see you, and maybe you meet with your team and you're all on Zoom. You may not even be in the same room, probably. You're in different parts of the city, and you can correspond and talk about Christmas Eve or talk about what's going on. So Zoom really is a good tool. It's not the perfect tool. There's other tools out there as well. Obviously, there's Skype and some other things as well. But as we wrap up here, get creative. That's what I'm trying to encourage you to do, is get creative.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds like good advice for making a great Christmas event online.
Well, I think so. And again, I just want to emphasize, there's lots of opportunities. So even if you can't have big crowds, you can still get crowds watching online if you do this right and put some thought into it, and it can have long-lasting effects in a positive manner. So just for what it's worth, give it a shot. Okay. All right. So I got my way. I got to do this podcast about Christmas. You won't believe, folks, how much flack I got on. No, we're not going to do Christmas. Come on. We got to do Christmas. We got to do Christmas, even if it's early November, because some people won't listen to this until, later in the month. So there you go.
Maybe after Christmas.
Might be after Christmas, and they'll have to plan for next year, but they'll have a big head start, right?
There you go. So,
yeah. All right. We're done. Overtime, but done. If you have some thoughts on this, folks, we'd love to hear from you. support@streamingchurch.tv. If you have something to add to the list or something you feel like, this is just goofball stuff, we'd still love to hear from you. So support@streamingchurch.tv, or just go to our website and chat. All right, we're done. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you, Steve Lacy, for your valuable input.
All right. Glad to be here.
All right. I'm Phil Thompson, and thank you. I hope that you guys have a great week. Thank you for listening to the Church Solutions Podcast. Take care. We'll catch you again next time.